Okay, here's part 2 of my video. Hopefully, this chair is really annoying. Okay, so I just finished talking about the book screws that you need. So yeah, you can get these at Michael's, or if you don't plan on making your book right away, you can get some really cheap ones on eBay. I know they have some really cheap ones on eBay. The hinges I got from Rona, you can get them Home Hardware, Home Depot. They're easy to find, and you need as small as one as you can find, like the smallest size that you can find. This one is about maybe an inch big, maybe just over an inch big, an inch and a quarter. For the detail work, you need some sculpting tools. These are just like crochet hooks for if you're like a hairdresser or something and you do a streaking cap. You can find these, or you can use like a real crochet hook for like crocheting. I probably can't focus on that at all. My camera's not very good. As I've stated in multiple videos, you can see there's the crochet hooks here. This is another kind of crochet hook, but it has like a spatula end on the back of it, or the front of it, I don't know what you want to call that. So I use that to like smooth it down and stuff. There's the crochet hooks. This is, I don't know what this is. It's a little tool. I can use it for something. And then I have this like little nail kit that has a bunch of different stuff. I'm not going to use everything though. I figured that I could just use like the nail files to do some detail work. There are some materials that you need that I don't have right now just because I'm not close to being finished in my book at all. So some other things that you will need are twine, like a small twine, because here in the book, if I can find one, you can see like there's stitching because it's supposed to be like skin. So like the pieces are stitched together. So you'll need some twine to go through with that. Probably some pretty thin stuff just because you don't want it too thick. And an eyeball, because there is an eyeball there. I've seen some that are made on YouTube and the internet that don't have the eye like open, like the eye is closed, but I'm making mine with the eye open. So you need a little eye. I can just go to the dollar store. You can get like little eyeball bouncy balls. You can probably use that and just like put some clear like protectant on top or something, and that will work. You obviously need a paintbrush so you can paint. If you don't have any like of these crocheting tools, and mother's hairdressers, so you probably don't. You can use just like the end of a pencil, or like the end of a paintbrush, or like a fork or something. I don't know. You can find your things to do. So yeah, the spine. The ones that I've seen haven't had a spine, so what I'm doing with mine is the way that other ones have been made, have been like sewn together and then just glued to the front cover. I don't really want that because I want to be able to take pages out and put more pages in as time goes on, because I'm going to add more pages, and if I want to take pages out and redo them or something, I want to be able to do that. So what I've found is, this is pretty hard to think of because it was stressful for me. Oh, I forgot to mention, you need MDF. Good luck finding it. JamieCunningham says in one of his videos that it's really cheap and inexpensive, and that's the same thing, and it's easy to find. I had a heck of a time trying to find this. I went to like 3 different Home Depot, Home Hardware, and Rona to find MDF, and none of them had it. Well, they have it, but getting it, and you need it to buy a huge sheet, and it's like 40 bucks to buy a huge like 30 by 40 foot sheet, because you can't buy just a small piece. You can't get them to cut it because you need to buy the whole thing, otherwise it'll just be useless to them. Why would somebody want that? So the guy at Rona, one of the workers there, we were trying to figure out what we could use as an alternative for that, because I wanted to get started on that, because basically you can't get started until you have your MDF. That's like the main starter point of the book. So he gave us a piece of flooring and just wrote sample on the back for us. It was like supposed to be like 20 bucks or something, and he just wrote sample on the back. Just gave us a piece of flooring. Here is kind of like some, like you can hear like there's like a kind of design on it for it to adhere to, but I didn't think that it would work, and the back is just flat, so I didn't even want to try and put the clay on that because I figured that it probably wouldn't stick to that. But the MDF, oh lord, as that falls over, the MDF, and the chair creaks, this was found at my mother's. She works for a railing company as well, and they use the MDF board in place of the glass as they're making like glass railings and stuff. So in place of the glass, they use MDF, and she asked about if they had any in the shop or anything, and they did. So she got some pieces cut for me. You need size 8.5 by 11 sheets of this. You can see it's kind of thick. Well, maybe not really. It's like maybe a 1/4 inch thick. So yeah, this is 8.5. Actually, this isn't 8.5 by 11. This is 9 by 11 because I wanted my pages to be kind of more in the book than other ones have been featured or whatever. I don't want my pages to be right up against the edge. So I believe it's 9 by 11. So you can make yours whatever size you like. Just make sure that you can fit. Regular A4 paper is 8.5 by 11. This is 8.5 by 11 paper. You can get an 8.5 by 11 piece of MDF. You need 2 pieces of that, one for the front cover, one for the back. So the way I'm doing my spine is I had some other scrapbooks, and it took me a while to think of this because I had no idea what I was going to do because I really wanted the spine. I didn't know if I was going to have to, like, how could I make that out of clay? That would not work. It wouldn't be able to bend or anything. So I had some other scrapbooks, and I went over to my bookshelf. That was a horrible laugh. I went over to my bookshelf, and I had this scrapbook that I've never used before. It's just an empty book, and as I picked it up, the spine literally pulled right out of it. So I was like, oh my goodness, this is perfect. So I just took this spine piece out of here. You can see how it like clips in there together, and then this spine piece goes over top of it. But there was a problem. The spine was too short for the MDF. It was only like, you can see here that it was just from there to there, but the edge was folded over because the spine is red. So I unfolded the edge pieces and just glued the whole thing to the MDF board. So I was thrilled when I could do that, so then I can have my spine. So what you'll need is a drill. This is just a little handheld drill. And I had to use 3 different drill bits to get the result that I needed to get as thick for the book screw to fit inside of it. I first went in with like an actual drill bit that is there, you can see, and then I went in with a small, what is it, Phillips screwdriver, I believe. It's like the star head one. I went in with a small Phillips screwdriver just to make that hole bigger, and then I went in with an even larger Phillips screwdriver, and you just drill and drill. It's dense, that's why it's medium density fiberboard, so it'll probably take a while. And then I drilled my holes 1.5 inches from the top of the board and 1.5 inches from the bottom of the board, if you can see it there, and all the way through the back, so that I can take my book screw and, if I can unscrew it, stick it in through the hole and then screw it to the other piece, and then you can see that it just, and then for as long as you have your book, you can just unscrew it and add more pages, take pages out. So that is, I'm really happy about this. So I have that and this, your pages. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the camera now and show you the page. Actually, I'll show you this first, as long as it doesn't take too long. These are pages that there's some pages that you can find online. Some people have typed them up again. So I went and found those, and I printed one off just as like a test copy, and the quality wasn't great. It was pixelated. The pictures were crappy. I don't want to say that, but the pictures weren't very good that they had like found on the internet or something. The colors, like there was like some black pictures, and then the font was red, and I just figured that it didn't look very nice. So I went and took those pages, downloaded like 30 different fonts because I didn't have that many fonts that I needed for this kind of book, obviously, and retyped out every single page. Well, I haven't done that yet, I'm still in the process, but I retyped out multiple pages, changed the fonts, blah 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 blah. Here it is, and I'll show you how to do the pages after. So these are just pages. This is a really cool font that I found. It's like Celtic writing or something. So there's that. You can see these. So yeah, I am not writing these by hand. I know Jamie Cunningham has said that he writes his by hand. I would have no idea how to do that. I cannot write in those cool pens. I can't do that. So I just printed my note with font on the printer, on the computer. I printed it out on my stained paper, which was a hassle because it got jammed multiple times. I'm just showing you some examples of the pages that I've made. And then I'll show you how to make the pages. And like I said, I still have multiple pages left to make. And then to fit these in, I will just put the holes in the page, and then just screw it into the spine here, to the book cover there. So there's some of the pages. Is that what I have to show you so far? Yeah, I believe that's everything that I have to show you so far, and I will take you over to the kitchen and show you guys how to do the paper after. Stay tuned for part 3. Thanks for watching.